get into a quartet of questions or scenarios that Drew and Headley will explore and analyze a few players here for you, again, to get you prepared for Senior Bowl week. And I agree with Jake. You know, he indicates it's a truly unique experience, and one I hope to be able to attend on an annual basis. I look forward to it every year. All right, so let's get started. All right, and who you see here, Drew, is a guy that Jake obviously was banging on the drum for previously, right? When we covered our preliminary cornerbacks, Devin Witherspoon was not among the top 5, but things have changed. More film study, we're deeper into season, things have changed, and he is a Senior Bowl acceptee. As far as players who are, we consider, you know, kind of locks as far as their draft stock is concerned, based on our evaluation to this point. We're not really concerned about or think that the Senior Bowl is going to have a big impact in terms of where we believe those players are slotted. These are kind of blue chip prospects in our eyes, attending the Senior Bowl. Now, of course, that doesn't necessarily apply to the 32 NFL teams. They can certainly help themselves, and they can potentially hurt themselves with those individual teams. But based on our access, our film analysis and study, we think this is a formality for these guys, and they're good. They're good to go. So we start with Devin Witherspoon, Drew, and why do you believe his draft stock is impervious?
Because he's a star, bro. This is a guy who can play both in the slot and outside. I know he's a little small, but he's feisty. He's physical. He also can play in off coverage. He's got that click and close, a little bit quick twitch, some smooth hips that I like to see from the cornerback position. And it's big. It's real big when you can play both inside and outside as a corner, man. And this dude be bringing hats to the party. No fear of tackling, unlike somebody else we know. You know him? Not saying he's scared. Just he ain't this guy.
Don't be bringing him down. Yeah, I agree.
All right. So next up, among the draft stock impervious intending the Senior Bowl, we have Tyree Wilson. We talked about him. Obviously, he's a member of your top 5 edge rushers in your preliminary rankings for the 2023 NFL Draft. He's accepted his invite to the Senior Bowl, and Headley, you're of the mindset that he's good. He's good. You know, whether you know he has a great week, a mediocre week, it's not really going to make a difference as far as his draft stock in your eyes. Why is that?
Yeah, he's got to walk on the field. You know, once he walk on the field, everybody gonna know who he is.
Once they see him, right? Body beautiful.
They gonna see him. You know, but with that, you also have the traits and the production. Double-digit tackle for losses, back-to-back seasons, 7 sacks, back-to-back seasons. And it's the disruption, man. He's just very disruptive to the football. Like Drew said, the tackle radius, he has that. He has that in spades, man. He reaches everything. And I think he's going to be a guy that, once more people see him, I think the ceiling, they're going to think of the ceiling, because with more dog and more additional pass rusher moves, he develops that and gets better in those aspects of the game. I think he's going to be unstoppable at the next level. So, yeah, I think his top 15 pick, man. I don't think anything changes at the Senior Bowl.
All right. Moving right along among our draft stock impervious, we have Drew back up, and you think Osiris Torrance is a done deal, signed, sealed, and delivered as far as his draft stock is concerned, even though he'll be attending the Senior Bowl. Why is that, Drew?
It's a formality, man. This is a guy who came from Louisiana. There's Raging Cajuns out there, and came over there with Billy Napier over to Florida, man. It was like, all right, how's he gonna look against his SEC competition, man? He's given up no sacks his entire career. Never mind in the SEC his entire career, man. He is, I think it's like 300-400 plus some crazy number of set snaps, whatever it is, man. Listen, he just, like Headley said earlier with Tyree, just walk out there and I'm just here just to be here, man. I'm just here to show up. I expect him to lose some in the one-on-ones, but that's just the nature of that drill. It's all about how you come back and correct yourself. Yes.
Your adjustments from rep to rep. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, man. Man. It's formality for him, man. Let's just
check that box. Let's just check the box.
Yeah, man.
Let's just check the box. All right. Next among our draft stock impervious for the 2023 Reeses Senior Bowl, we have tight end Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. Headley.
He's just a quintessential pass catching, move tight end. You know, we see him coming to the league all the time. I think he's going to be like a day 2 pick because I think Mayer might be the only first rounder in the tight end class. But he might be tight end 2 or 3 for people. But, you know, it's a passing league, man. You need guys like this to create mismatches against linebackers, safeties, and just be a reliable security blanket for your quarterback. So I think whatever team gets him, you know, they're going to use him in the passing game a lot. So I think doesn't change his stock at all at the Senior Bowl.
All right, Drew, up next is your guy, your receiver 1, Rasheed Rice. I personally think, you know, and obviously considering that he's your receiver 1 among all the prospects, the Senior Bowl isn't going to make a difference to you. All right, and this is your analysis in this particular segment. So certainly understand that. I think he can help himself a lot. I think Rasheed Rice can really turn some heads down in Mobile. The numbers have been phenomenal this season. He clearly has all the tools, but I think up close and personal, when these you know, NFL scouts, area scouts get a look at him facing Power 5 competition in these one-on-ones, the 7-on-7, 11-on-11, I think he can really help himself. But as far as his stock in your mind, Drew, nothing's changing for you. He's receiver 1. Why is he going to the Senior Bowl then?
Because I think you got doubters out there, man. He's playing at SMU, not playing against you know, top level competition every week, and so he wants to go out there and prove himself against what's you know, Devin Witherspoon. You know what I'm saying? Like what does that look like? And NFL coaches want to see that. They're going to see that up close and personal, and he's going to showcase his skill set because I think he's the complete package when you talk about the receiver. And this dude plays with a different level of intensity and. I don't know, man. Sometimes I watch players, bro, and I'm just like, this guy different, bro. He just the way he goes about business out on that football field, it looks different than everybody else at the position, man.
Yeah, and Jake seconds that notion. He wants to see Rasheed Rice versus Devin Witherspoon. That's certainly going to pop off the one-on-ones. One-on-ones should be amazing this year. Yep. There's some interesting corner prospects, and I like to see guys get up there. You know, no safety help, a lot of field to defend and compete. You know what I mean? Obviously, like you alluded to with Osiris Torrance and the one-on-ones with the O lineman and the defensive lineman, you're going to lose some reps just because of the nature of it, right? There's no leverage per se, but I really want to see those DBs compete, and seeing those two go at it is going to be worth the price of admission. Although I'll do a public service announcement for the Reeses Senior Bowl. Practices are open to the public, so if you are in the area, be sure to check it out. All right. Where do we go next here? We're going with KJ Henry. And Headley, you think his stock is solidified?
For me.
For you.
He's a guy like you said, but Rasheed Rice could improve his stock as he goes to the Senior Bowl, as people see eyes on him. But for me, man, he's one of the top. I want to put him in my top 5. He's like 4 to 7. He can work his way up to 4 because out of everyone in that Clemson defensive line, man, he flashed over and over. He just had a knack of making big plays. His length, his athleticism, his awareness, man, dropping back into the zone and getting his hands on passes, knocking down passes. And I think he's just going to showcase that at the Senior Bowl and, you know, at the Combine. I think his stock is going to be up from here for most people. But for me, I already have him solidified as, you know, a borderline top 5 edge in this class.
Oh, all right. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for the Senior Bowl. Accepted invites for the draft stock Impervious. Timothy agrees with you, Headley. He's underrated. Absolutely. Absolutely. A very, very talented defensive down line there in Clemson.